G'day, viewers. Oh, we probably need that on. And maybe we need a cat. What about a random cat? There you go. You can have a random cat for a while. Welcome to the Long Island Railroad or Train Sim Classic. So, hello to Mr. Quicko. Welcome to the stream. So tonight we're going to have a look at, and it is tonight for me, it's 11 PM at night. This was going to be a little bit earlier, but things happened not in my control. So, this is what you can see now on Steam. But I'm about to show you what it really looks like, which is kind of cool. But let's follow a few key words. Meticulous attention to detail. Agree with that. Extraordinary authenticity. I agree with that. Signaling, really good. Cactus juice, well done. I'm not going to call out the other people that have been who have been building this, because I'm not too sure how many of them actually want to be named, because, you know, some of them have real jobs on railways. Anyway, in the included scenarios you get Summer of Hell, Hempstead Sevens, On the Clock Part 1 and 2, Brooklyn Baller, Too Early for Work, and Saturday Stakes, and a few Railfan ones. We're going to jump into Saturday Stakes. And we're running on the Long Island Railroad. Now this one's got some slow bits and it's got some quick bits, but it shows off the signalling quite nicely. So I'll get rid of Random Cat for now, because you probably want to see the game, don't you? Alright then, let's kick it off. As you can tell, I've been playing for a bit. Anyway, here we go. I've been looking forward to being able to show this one off to you, actually, because it's cool. I like it. Alright, let's have a quick look outside before we get too far into it. I won't turn on the alerter just yet, because it'll bite me while I sit here. So, this is the M7. And yeah, I know, wrong lights at the start. All the cool things that you'd expect from what we had in TSW2, like all the lights on the sides, they do all actually work. And you'll see that shortly. But we need to get driving. And first up, let me turn on the alerter. And I've got my head tracking turned on today. If that gets annoying, let me know and I'll kill it. Alright, so let's get the master key and get to see these screens wake up. Right. Now, let's pull back this so it comes off emergency, because that's where it sits. Let's get into forward. Looks like good forward. Now we've got to have the fun bit of trying to get this handle back into max brake. It's pretty easy with the keyboard and the controller, but it's a bit finicky with the rail driver because it likes popping into emergency. But you get used to it. There we go. Now we charge it up. We can watch this while we're doing that. Hello, alerter. It's noisy, isn't it? It's cool. You can see that ATC and Axis are both on and running, and we have a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit right now. Let's get some gauge lights on, let's get some headlights going, and let's get rid of those marker lights out the front. Let's go have a look. Make sure we got that right. We did. Excellent. Hey, he doesn't look like me. Needs more hair, especially around here. Alright, off we go. Hello, Chicago. Hello, Dave Randall. Hello, Mr. Quicko Gaming. You like the random cat? Is she there? Yeah, she's still there. Hang on, let me get her to say hello. Hello, random cat. Come on, up here. Look up here. Yeah, she doesn't want to look up here. Come on. Want to look at your eyes. Come on. Eh.
The camera's not broadcasting.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
There goes the alerter again. Alright, and Random Cat back off. My wife's telling me that Random Cat's not broadcasting, but she forgets that Random Cat's 20 seconds behind everything else. Alright, off we go, and I'll stop looking at my rail driver, you're going to get seasick. Now, got to be a tad careful, because the safety systems in this thing are a bit serious, but let's listen to the sound. Sounds pretty cool, huh? We're in Jamaica. Hello, Blue Vibes. Hello, Cat. Overspeed already. I forgot. When the track speed shows dash dash, you have to hover at 10, not 15 like ATC is telling me. 10. There's the alerter again. Don't know if I'll keep the alerter on the whole time. We shall see. And I can probably turn off this HUD for a while too, because it doesn't matter that much. You need it on when you're trying to find max brake on the handle, because good luck otherwise. And you also need it to find the station stops, because still not used to it. We're up to 20 on axis for our track speed, but still 15 on the ATC, so we'll behave ourselves. We can go right up to 15 and a tiny bit more. If you hit 16, you lose points like crazy. So, Cat wants to know, where did the cat cam go? Cat cam's off at the moment. Well, there's not much on in the game up there, I suppose. We can put cat cam back on if she's still there. I don't even know if she's still there. Yeah, she's still there. Cleaning herself as usual. We're changing tracks. Don't know that you had much wheel slip on this one. Look how close that surface is getting to us. Fortunately, we'll be out of its way in a moment. This is how cool the signalling system is on the LIRR. It lets things get really close, like they do in real life on this route. That's also why you need to stay in your cab, because if you don't, you'll have a penalty brake before you know what's going on. Blue Vibes wants me to press F5. You just want to see the F5 HUD. You're not going to see that much. So it's not that useful to you. And the second part's just for steam. Still limited to 15 as we crawl off to the racetrack. And alerter. How's the game sound for you guys? Loud enough? Hello, Chicago. You think you see snow approaching? I don't. I see a nice blue sky. Look out there. In fact, interestingly, here's an interesting thing that happens with head track in games that don't expect you to be able to do this. If I turn around here and look out the window, look, I can see the people with no train. Isn't that funny? That's because old games don't expect head trackers. Oh, we're allowed up to 30. Let's go. The train does sound pretty good. We've now got 80 on the track limit, but still 30 on ATC, so we'll behave ourselves. There we are, 30. Now, if you go over the speed in this one, it's a little bit different to the way it behaves in TSW2. Just acknowledging the speed limit has come down because we're changing tracks. Every time the speed drops, you have to acknowledge. When the speed goes up, you don't have to acknowledge. Now, if you do go a bit too fast, you'll get a penalty brake, and it actually applies the brakes for you. Cruising along. Let's be brave and go outside for a moment. Looks pretty cool. Apologies for the flickeriness you're seeing. It's not the route. I had a bit of a problemo with my train simulator last night. I killed it. And this is a completely fresh install. Allowed up to 40 miles an hour now. And we're allowed up to 80. Max power. It's a bit like max headroom, but not as crazy. Alerter. So you can turn ATC and Axis on and off the way you usually do with Alt, Num, and... oh, sorry. The Control Enter and Shift Enter. And you've got two horns with this thing too. If you don't want to scare people, you use the baby horn. If you want to scare them, use the proper horn. Lots of the buttons and things in here work. Even that one. But I'm not pulling that. Not sure if the radio works as yet. We shall see. And how are we going on speed? 71. And we're almost at the racetrack. So I'll have to slow down to a ridiculous 5 miles an hour in a moment. There we go. Time to slow down. So you see how it actually put the brakes on for me then until I took over? And now it's let me release and I'm back in control again. Now, as a driver of one of these things, or an engineer or an operator, whatever you want to call them, maybe even a loco pilot, you are expected to know your route. Now, I'm still learning it, so I will not be at the right speeds all the time, and that's okay. There we go, there's another one. Acknowledge, and I've made brake assurance rate. You can see that there, the brake assurance rate on the speedo. And as long as I get down to the 40, there we go. It will just let me settle that. You can get penalty brakes where you actually get a hard stop, and the system will decide, nah, you're stopping right now. That tends to happen when you're approaching a adverse signal. Few people in the chat. Yes, the train does sound awesome, Blue Vibes. Agree with that. Very much like the sounds. The very creative and talented people who put this together have been working massively hard on it. And it's coming up really well. I don't know what you're playing, Chicago, but it's not this. So we're getting pretty close to the racetrack now, so I'm going to start slowing down, because I have to go 5 miles an hour at the end of this platform up here, I think. If I remember rightly. Now, we have a little bit of a slow bit here, because in the run into the racetrack... Oh, he's having a good time, isn't he? Doof, doof, doof. You have to do 5. And we turn in just up near this signal box here, if I'm at the right station. I think I am. Alert. And I think up there... Yep, there's the turn in just up there, so... I'm just going to bring it down just a touch more, just down to 5. And I have to say, keeping this thing at 5 is a bit of a challenge. I think I could actually go 15 at the moment, but it's going to be 5 as soon as I hit those points up there or the switch, so... Yes, there is Busy. Her name is Busy Being Me. We call her Buzz because she's a bit of an idiot. So while this is going ridiculously slow, let's pop outside. Watch it go past. The detail on this thing is really cool. Passenger view. G'day, how you going? Going to the racetrack? So am I. I should be up the front though. Maybe I should. Oh, haven't had the alerter go off yet. And I'm still somehow managing to do 5, so this is good. So much for doing 5. I'll turn the HUD back on. You can see how quickly you start to lose points. Apparently I'm still allowed to do 80 at the moment. That surprises me just a little. the game HUD doesn't necessarily coincide with what you're seeing on the instrument console, because the game HUD doesn't really know how to deal with all these variable speed limits. So you need to obey the lowest one that it's got on the instrument console, which at the moment is 15. But I've over-anticipated the 5, because as soon as we come into this area here with the points, we will be going into the 5. Let's annoy everybody at the racetrack. Uh-oh, the alerter's going off. And it put my brakes on. Yay! Because I didn't pay attention to the alerter. And now that we've got the double dash on our track speed, just looking here in the center of the dash, we're only allowed to do 5. So we're just going to crawl into the station around the corner here. Which if we just briefly pop outside, you can see the big racetrack stadium over there. And as long as I stay under 6, I'll be okay. I won't lose points. So I imagine a few people have picked this thing up on pre-order already, based on this morning's stream, or the last night's stream, depending on where you live. For me, it was morning, with Jamie driving and Brandon commenting. Brandon did the signalling for the route. Has done an awesome job. See what I mean about losing points when you're not paying attention? There we go. Just lost 56 points, just like that. In about 50 yards. That's because this thing's going downhill, so you have to juggle it a little bit. Now, let me just make sure all these switches are set right. Looks good, because we want to go into that platform. So just like real life, you're on the brakes, on the power, on the brakes, on the power, on the brakes, on the power. And I have to say, if you're lucky enough to have a rail driver, this is kind of fun, because if you've watched the videos of the guys driving these things in real life, it's exactly what you're doing. Oop, lost 4 points. Oh, I lost more points. It's a good thing I'm not a points guy, isn't it? I haven't lost thousands yet, though. Try not to do that. See, it's quite sharply downhill here. So I have to pay a little bit of attention. It's flattening out now. So, Chicago, you going to go rail fanning on Monday? Oh, wait, you can't. That's a bit mean, wasn't it? Nearly in the platform, and then we'll change ends. And then guess what? We fill up with people, and then we drive out again. Yay! And then we'll be heading into New York Penn. We'll have a quick look around the racetrack before we leave. Went over 6 briefly there. Lets you get away with speeding a little bit, but not much. So you really got to stay on it. You're going to have pretty busy hands with this thing. And to me, that makes it fun. Nearly there. Hello, Florian. Yes, we have the little guard up there. Whoa, I'm speeding again. Let's just turn off the HUD, then we won't know. That's fair, isn't it? I can't imagine they'll go out that long, mate. This is a little bit dangerous doing this, because of course I can't see my speed or the alerter, so I'm just going to keep mashing the button. Platform 8. We have to go right down to the buffers, to the 12 car stop sign down there. And then we'll go through the change ends process. We can start some of that now. We can turn our marker lights on and our headlights all the way off. Turn our gauge lights off. And there we go. We go into emergency, reverse the key out, and one thing I do have to do is turn off the alerter, otherwise it goes off in this cab. Come on, you gonna let me take the key out? Of course you're not. There we go. Knew I'd get there. Alright, let's just flip up to the other end, and then I'll go for a fly and we'll have a look at the surroundings. Let's just get it set up and ready to go. 10 million messages come on to tell me all these things that are turned on. That's key. There we go. And we want this into max brake. One more down. There we go. And we should be able to get into forwards. We can. And charge up. And let's get our doors open, so people are getting in and out while we're doing this. Because funnily enough, we're meant to leave. Because we're late. Late already. Alright, brakes are charged up. Headlights on to dim. Get the marker light off. Now, while these people are getting in, let's go have a look. This is the station out here at the racetrack. We're at Belmont Park Station, and we're ready to depart, apparently. Better go then, since we're already late. Okay. Horn. It seems to be working. Let's turn the alerter back on. And forwards, and get the right lever, and let's go. Here comes a penalty brake. Watch this. There you go. It works. And resetting it, you just wait till it releases and then back off you go. Simple as that. So it's a bit more forgiving than some other versions. Now we have to juggle our speed the other way, because now we're going uphill. Now, let me just check on the map, make sure we're good. We do look good. Didn't get an alerter while I was in there. I think head tracking is getting a touch annoying, so I'll actually turn it off. And let's get rid of this HUD. We know where we're stopping. And you can't just say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to speed, because it'll stop you. It won't let you speed. You're not allowed to be naughty. You get away with a small percentage over what it's restricting you to. So 5 at the moment, I can go up to 6 and it'll leave me alone. Much above 6 and it'll stop me. And I promise you soon we're going to do some fast running. So you get to see how she sounds properly. Because we're going to run to New York Penn now. Now, most of the assets for this route are brand new. About the only one you've seen before is New York Penn, and even it's had a few changes. And you'll find it bears a bit of resemblance to the TSW2 version, but not as much as you might expect. Instagram's such a reliable news service, isn't it, Chicago? Oh, you want to look at the racetrack? All right, we can trust this thing for a little while, can't we? There's the racetrack. You wanted it. You got it. Oh, you thought I meant the Chicago racetrack, didn't you? Sorry to disappoint you, Chicago. That's soon. A couple of weeks, I think. The layout of clutter and materials around the route make it feel lived in. It's really nicely done. If we have a look around here, just all the bits of crap that are everywhere. It's really nice. All right, we have got the signal to go out. Cruising along. Let's just turn on the head tracker again just for a moment. And let's just make sure there's no one coming up there. Looks good. Yep, no one's going to hit us. Still restricted to 5 until the tail of my train comes out onto the line. And we're going to be crossing over up here. $80 on the track limit, but we can't do that yet because we're still restricted to 15 and our tail is still in the 5 zone, so we have to keep doing 5. Goes the back to restricted again as we're going through this crossover. Watch that speed just a little bit. Let's wash that off just a tiny bit. There we go. The train is quite responsive, quite nice to drive. You'll all know that in a few hours. We have the Queen's signal box out here. There's quite a lot of signal boxes along the route, and they're all different. All nice new models. Is our back in yet? Oh, so close. I can speed up in a moment. We should be pretty close by now. Yep. Back's still coming through those crossover points though. But I can come up to 15. We should be allowed up to 80, but we are actually going to stop here. So I can't go too fast. Yeah. Doors. Doors open. And you can see the signal lights on the cabs went off. And the door open lights have come on. Marker lights at this end. And headlights up at this end. How does it compare with its TSW2 counterpart? It's bloody awesome. The signalling this one, so much better. Hey, Mr. Quicko. I'm doing okay. I'm getting over a cold. How about you? Forgot to honk the horn. I'm naughty. And off we go. I should have stopped out here at 12MU, actually. I was naughty. Now, I don't think we're stopping again till Jamaica. So we've got a little while. Alerter. So let's pick up some speed. I'll just kill the head tracking again so you don't get seasick while I look up and down at the instruments. How are you doing, Mr. Quicko? What's that in the top left? That's a cat. It's the wife's idea. You don't say no. Alright, we've had an alertus. Let's look outside. It feels very New York to me. Not too much repetition in the houses. The commercial buildings feel good. Yeah, what's one more pussy on the internet, huh? Coming up to 80 mile an hour now. There's one comparison with TSW2, Florian. Proper horn. And you've got a baby horn too. Baby horns on the N key. So this is the maintenance facility here. Oop, got the alerter going off there. Sounds like the alerter's going off in the back cab, doesn't it? A few railway police over there. Stop it. Yes, release. Good, good, good. I came back in time. I pressed the button, honest. Hi, Jamie. How are you? Welcome to the stream. You came in just in time to see me get a penalty break then. The sounds are excellent, Mr. Quicko Gaming. And another penalty break. Because what am I ignoring? Let's turn my head tracking back on so I can see that. We've got to come down to 40. There we go. Hello, Cayman. I enjoyed your drive this morning, Jamie. I thought I'd pick one of the ones you didn't do. And we're coming into Jamaica. Let's have a look at that train over there. I think everybody's going to get caught out by it, but it's quite cool. It's a bit forgiving. It's once you actually acknowledge the penalty and you deal with what it wants you to deal with, it's all right. Speaking of penalties, there we go. And it lets you continue, just like that. And I'll have to come down to 20 now, because I'm getting another one. It is quite involved, because you've got to look at your track speed, you've got to look at what ATC is telling you, and you have to be a little bit aware of everything as well. I was almost at the right speed. So close. So, you've got a lot to do. You've got a lot to think about. You've got busy hands. And I look at the signals and I often think, yeah, it's a proceed. It's all good. And that one I'm going to diverge into the platform up here. I'm starting to get used to them. Should be safe enough at 15.9. Yep, you definitely do have to do that, JB. And you have to behave yourself too. There's none of this, I'm just going to go faster because I feel like it, because it won't let you. Bring that speed down a little bit or I would have gotten penalised. So welcome to Jamaica, people. This station's really cool. So much work's gone into this, you can really tell. Another signal box sitting up there, and they're all subtly different. Very similar plan, but they're all just a little bit different. It's a little bit early, but it'll do. Alright, let's go look outside. Let's have a look at Jamaica Station. Or let's just look at the side of our train. I want to look at the station, though. Looks nice. And funnily enough, the distance. And I'm relatively familiar with this part of New York. I like the way that train spins over there. But relatively familiar with this area of New York. And I have to say, yeah, they've done pretty well. Time to go by the sounds of it. Off we go. Got the guards buzzer then. We're not called guards here, are they? Ooh, naughty. There is a tremendous amount of work going on the LIRR. And I have to remember to behave myself and not go too fast, because it goes downhill here. I don't think this railway stands still very much. It's always changing. Penn Station's going through renovations now. The double slips are always a little bit hard to figure out which direction you're going to go. I sped up a little early then. I can go to 20 now. Apparently I can't go to 20 now. Oh yes, the back of my train's still in the 15, isn't it? Yep, I'm being naughty. Yeah, 700 a day is quite a few. Yes, I know, I'm being naughty. Take away all my points. Go on, take them all. -88, I'm happy with that. Turn off this HUD for a little while. So we are allowed up to 40 now. Oh, I should turn on my instrument light, shouldn't I? Actually, there you go. There's my contribution. See, the knob goes the right way round now. That's my sole contribution. It's almost as though this train has gears. And up to 80. And give it everything. All the beans. Proceed on the signal up there. LIRR still uses the old Pennsylvania signals. Let's be a little bit brave. And the baby horn. Now, I'm not staying out here too long, because I'll end up caught out. Morning, how you doing? Have a good day. It was Kew Gardens. I find Kew Gardens kind of funny because there's one in Melbourne, and I know there's one in the UK. Projects housing on the right there. Or projects, as Americans would call them. And Blue Vibes, yes, that is the For Real Train Simulator. How cool is this station? I just had to pop outside to have a look. I know I shouldn't stay out of the cab too long or I'm going to end up doomed, but this is just really nice. And the alert is not going off, to my amazement. There's plenty of trackside scenery to look at, but to be honest with you, you just don't have time. Oop, I'm going too fast. And there's something that's so New York. Water towers. Very happy to see them up on top of the buildings. Oh, I'm sure it'll happen sometime. But there's so much new content coming out lately to play with. Let's just very quickly pop outside again. Nice little commercial borough. Looks cool. And straight back into the gardens again. I shouldn't cough when I've got my head tracking turned on, should I? Uh-oh, I'm being naughty. There we go. Got it. I'm going to turn off the head tracking while I drink my tea. This speed restriction is axis, bringing us down for the curve. How are we doing on distance? Oh, almost there. Coming up on Woodside, our next stop. Now arriving Woodside. If you're getting off here, thanks for riding MTA. I keep slowing down too early. Alright, let's get the doors open and then let's get outside. Let's go have a look around here because there's something here on the platform that's cool. These little bridge things that are here on the platform, is this guy going to walk through it? He's going to walk through it. It's funny. But they go on top of these stands here, so they can rescue people from express trains if they need to. Look at the detail in that. That's just cool. Yeah, I suppose we should leave. We have a green up there, so off we go. Off to New York Penn, track 17. Do you play Bassmaster though, Jamie? There's a question. Is the alerter going off then? I need to recalibrate my rail driver. I'm not getting full power at the end of the lever throw. I'm having to resort to the keyboard. In through the tunnel. I always worry about the flashing ones because that means the next one's going to be a diversion. But this is a high-speed one, I think. Nice skyline there. And some recognisable New York landmarks coming up. The team have done an absolutely amazing job on this. Hello, Trainmaster. How are you? Welcome to the stream. We're heading towards Penn Station right now. It is indeed. On the LIRR in TSClassic. Oops. Oops. There we go. So am I, Mr. Quicko. So I look at that signal up there and go, I'm pretty sure mine are on the right. Coming down into the long tunnel. Did I not have my headlights on? What a naughty player. You've got to watch your speed down here because this is quite steep. That's cool, Trainmaster. I've ridden from Philly to New York on the NEC. Almost at the bottom now. Just heard another train in an adjacent tunnel there. They're impressively loud, these trains. Makes me happy. Chicago racetrack is coming, Chicago. It's a fair trip, Trainmaster. I'll just put my head tracker back on because we've been brought back down to 40 here. That's cool. I hope the wedding was good. Let's get a little bit of power, but I have to slow right down shortly. We've got yellows up there. We're restricted to 30, but we're already doing less than 30, so I only have to acknowledge it. And soon we'll get pushed down to 15, so I'm just going to start slowing down to that now. The M7 does sound pretty good, I have to say. It's a nice sound. I've had the pleasure of riding one of these for real, and I think they've done a pretty good job. Now, Penn you've all seen before, because it's been used in another route. Alert and down to 15 at the same time as we cruise into the station. Must remember to turn this off when I'm drinking. Apologies for the coughing, I'm getting over a cold. Yes, it's 15 miles an hour into here, Trainmaster. I think the M7 in here sounds better than the TSW one. I don't mind the TSW one, it sounds quite realistic too, but this one I think sounds better. Almost there. That'll do us, I think. Let's watch all our people go away. We've got our door lights on again. Yeah, I don't really know, Trainmaster. I guess it's just the different operating terminal. Different rules. Even though Penn's the same old asset, it still looks pretty cool. And we shortly will be going into the yard, I think, if I remember rightly. Off we go. Got our buzz. Now, are these... Yep, they're all automatic by the looks of it, which is great. We'll take it into the yard and then we should do something else, I guess, shouldn't we? Even though it's midnight for me. Hello, Michael. How are you? Does it mean Chicago racetrack today? No. There are two cats there now. Oh no, still only one. Oh, it's a different cat. That's Cassandra cat. Oh no, there is two there. I am married to Crazy Cat Lady. She rescues. Now, if you've ever walked the New York High Line, I was very trusting there that my signalman was not routing me into a track with a train in it. But if you've ever walked the New York High Line, it's the path at the end of this yard up here. And you can, during the day, if you come here, there's just heaps and heaps of trains stabled in here. A bit like there are right now. Have to put a bit of power on through here because it's uphill. So this brown thing that you can see up here is actually the New York High Line, which is a elevated vertical park that used to be an elevated rail line that served the meatpacking district in Chelsea. It's a really cool walk, so if you're ever in the city, definitely encourage you to go for a wander on the High Line. It's planted out really nicely, lots of art. You can see aspects of the city that you wouldn't normally be able to see because you're up a bit higher. It's quite cool. We're not quite there yet. Let's get our headlights off, marker lights on, gauge lights. There we go. And full emergency on the brake. Come on. Go the rest of the way. You know you want to. Just go the rest of the way. You're right, don't see if I care. There we go. Okay, and key out. And that should be it for this run. I think we should have a look at one of the other little short ones, don't you? I think my wife's helping back there. Why don't we have a look at On the Clock Part 2, because that's the second part of the one I think Jamie did this morning. So it's a quick one, because it is midnight here, so it is a work night. So I have to behave at least a little bit. Yes, the cats are inspecting things. Alright, it's feeling dark. Set up the train and depart when you are ready. Ah, we're going to Hillside Yard. That means more slow running. Yay. Alright, let's bring this back off emergency. But not that far back because we want to charge up. Max brake. Oh, no. Ah. Let's use the keyboard then. Bring it into forwards. Charge up. Push it to button. There we go. It's charging up. And while that's happening, we can try and put our windscreen wipers on. If I can find the switch. There it is. And maybe some headlights. Probably some proper headlights because it's dark. And some instrument lights. Turn the marker lights off. Let's just pop out. Make sure that's all good. Looks good. And down the other end. Down here we should have red. We do. Look at that. Excellent. Okay. Away we go. Looks like we've got a bit of snow going on. And we're limited to 30 at the moment if we look down there on the ATC. Now, I'll be streaming this again on Sunday, and on Sunday I'll run through 3 of the longer ones. And if I somehow find a miracle of time, I might make a scenario as well. And we're deadheading now, so we're just running without passengers. And we can go full speed. So we shall. Well, apparently I can't go full speed here. Uh-oh. Apparently I still have to do 30. No, now I'm allowed to do 80. Very good. I keep forgetting it's when the back of the train goes through. That's a nice detail. Cones with lights on tops. They're cool. Now, I haven't turned the alerter on this time, so we can spend some time outside. Oh, we're taking some passengers to the yard. Oh, well. Bit of an industrial sort of area here. Vertical lights means green. So gauge-wise, the entire ADU is active and represents everything that you would expect to see on there. I'm not sure if you can change the brightness. I've never actually tried. No, it doesn't look like that's in there. This one's telling you about your train, what doors are open and closed, and the lights. Brake gauges over here. Am I going too fast? Am I getting a penalty brake? I am. I'm a naughty boy. Who's a naughty boy, then? Nice housing estate over there. All the houses are nicely lit up. Street lights are good. Through the crossing. We could use the baby horn because it's night time. Wouldn't want to wake up all the people in the buildings around here, would we? Now this one's personally interesting to me. Oops, and speeding. And way too high. How did I get all the way up here? Where's my train? Down there. But I wanted to come look at this building because in this building is actually where my grandfather used to live. So there you go. Leave all those happy people behind as we cruise through at nearly 80 miles an hour. Green lights on the signals, well, a row of vertical yellows. And coming down to 70. As long as you brake till you get the brake assurance rate light to come on, you're all good. And we have a diversion coming up to another track, I would suggest. Because we don't have vertical greens this time. This tells us something special is happening. And we need to come down to 40. Done. I'll get rid of the HUD for a while so we can have the instruments, and I'll stop my head tracker for a bit. Stop you guys all getting seasick. You think I should wake them up, Florian? Alright then. Trouble is, everyone's got a phone and they record your number. Back to full speed apparently. Although, we've got another diversion on this signal, so I'm not going to go back to full speed because I think it's just sucking me in. See? I knew it was. It was just sucking me into a false sense of security, and I didn't want to fall for it this time. They're coming through the junction off to the other branch here. So if we just center on this. The Nassau branch. Not all of it's there, but there's one station, I think. This is another really nicely modelled station. Hello, people. Hello, hello. It just looks really cool. So much work's gone into this. It's really nice. Oop, train. Actually, let's do this the right way with head tracker. Alright, it's kind of silly. I think at some point up here we actually change tracks and go over onto the left as we approach into the yard. Let's just put our HUD back on for a moment. Still got 6 miles before we go into the yards. And apparently I'm allowed back up to 70 mile an hour, so let's do that. Because we have greens. Vertical lines. And for those of you who have watched my previous stream and I was trying out RW Enhance 2, that is gone. We have another caution coming up on the signal up here, so I expect I'll be slowing down. So I'll just get into the braking area. As expected, to get down to 40 miles an hour. But just like before, as long as you brake hard enough to get the brake assurance rate light to come on, you're all good. Done. Train is nice and responsive to player inputs. You can see we're actually catching up with a train. I don't know if you've noticed that, but there's one just up ahead of us in the platform there. So I'll start braking again because we'll get pushed down to 15 very shortly. think he's just leaving the platform now, actually. Looks like he's just pulling out. So we've caught up with a stopping service. Yeah, you can see he's pulling... Is he pulling out? Yeah, I think he is. I think he's moving. So it's going to let us back up to 40 because he's getting away, so we'll do that. Now, if you were driving a route with absolute block, then coming up that close to another train would probably terrify you, but it's quite normal on the LIRR. It's how they run. They have these really short blocks. And they keep you at a speed where you'll be able to stop when you see the other train. So we're being kept at 40. Might have another little look outside. Another mostly residential area, a little bit of commercial. Still cruising along. So what do you guys think of the route? Do you think it's a winner? Oh, we're allowed back up to 70s. The other train's got a rocket in it. I think I must still have light bloom turned on. This is a fresh install of TSC because I had an unfortunate accident. I'm not going to tell you it was caused by the tool that I was playing with on my last stream, because I don't know, but it seems a strange coincidence that removing that and the game caught fire. Three miles to the hillside lead. And back down to 40 because we're catching up with another train. So on Sunday's runs, we've got a couple where we're going to be stopping a lot and picking up passengers. But I thought on this one we'd just do a couple of faster ones because it just gives you a good look around the route without having to spend as much time, because it's 12:15 a.m. for me and I have to be at work in 7 hours and 45 minutes. And on Saturday, I've got to make the call tomorrow, actually. Oops. Come on. Down you come. Come on, down you come. There we go. We have a stop signal coming up in front of us. So we can't go through this next one because it's at stop. And this wants to be doing less than 5. But we're just going to sit here and wait for this signal to change. I think that this is where we change tracks, if I remember rightly. Yeah, so our path's actually off to there. Which means we're waiting for that other train up there to get out of the way. We can try the signaller trick. Denied. Not allowed. Damn it. Well, while we're waiting, let's have a look outside. I thought it was rolling backwards for a moment then. I thought, what's going on there? Looks quite nice in the dark. The mimicry of reflected surfaces on polished aluminium is actually quite nice. I actually kind of think it's slightly better than the TS2 one, to be honest. TSW2. We got a signal up there yet? No. I think we're waiting for him to pass, because we have to change tracks here. So when that train hurries on through, we'll be able to hurry up and stop waiting and get off into the yard. Because it's going to start routing us over to the left so that we can enter the yard up ahead. And interestingly, up in the distance, you can actually see another train coming. There's definitely another one coming up there. Playing the hurry up and wait game. I think he stopped in the station. Let's go look. Here he is, all the way up here. We're waiting for you. Hurry up. Get out of the way. We want to come down here. He's actually quite a long way away, isn't he? Sure, we get put to sleep by the windscreen wiper. What time does this release? I believe it depends where you live, but normally it's about 3 hours after midnight for Australia, so I would think pretty soon. So most of the time Steam stuff for us comes out at 3 a.m. Still waiting. More traffic. Clearly someone going into the yard doesn't have much priority. He's gone right up to the signal. If he's allowed to do it, I'm allowed to do it. Yeah, I know. Be quiet. Stop it. Stop it. Quiet. I know, it's red. Alright, I'm not allowed to do it. Stop, it says. Thou shalt do nothing else, thou shalt stop. Very good. I obey. Oh, the cats have departed. We don't need cat cam anymore then, do we? See you later, train. So who's next? Us or the bloke over there? Oh, it's him. What? Come on. When are we getting a go? We'll just watch all these passengers go past. Occasionally you briefly appear inside someone's head, which is always kind of creepy. Maybe we'll get a go now. Surely. Surely now. I was actually wondering why it said this scenario was this long. I think I know now. You have to sit here. Because we're going to cross over the tracks here in a moment. Well, I hope we are anyway. Because if we're not, it'll be a sad and disappointing end. Oh, let's just... Whoop, no, there we go. I was about to say let's go exploring while we wait, but no. Now, we are limited to 40 here. I wouldn't be that surprised if we get chucked down to 15 or 30 for the crossover. But we'll head for 40. Why not? Yeah, there we go. 15. Kind of thought that was going to happen. That's okay. Let's turn the head tracker off again. Ah, 16 should be safe enough. Can probably get rid of the HUD now, actually. Kind of know where I am now. So we're out in the depths of Queens. There may be some slight adjustments between the one that we're playing and the one that actually releases. Because I did notice there was an update in build. But I don't know if that's going out today or not. So there may be some slight differences between what you're seeing here and what you get. Oh, before I forget, I must give the usual disclaimer. I did get this DLC for free. But I'm not obligated to say nice things. I'm just happy to say nice things with this one, because it's cool. So I think you should see this Texas and New York, or New York and Texas, in probably about 2.5 hours. Now, I think no, I don't turn left at this one. It's soon, though. Pretty soon I come off and go into a yard. .5 miles, in fact. Let's live it up, people. Now, I'll stream this again on Sunday, and I will stream some more of the scenarios that come with it. If I get time, I will make one as well. I'm not sure if I'll get time. It depends whether I'm actually going on the steam railway this weekend or not. I have to make a call tomorrow. I'm feeling a lot better than I have been the last few days, so we'll see what tomorrow's like. And I have to consult with the rest of my crew, because it's not just up to me. They have to be comfortable as well. Because as you can imagine, in the current environment, turning up in a locomotive cab with, even if it is only a cold, is going to freak people out a little bit if they don't know in advance and get to make their own choice. Because basically in a very small place with these people, because I start at 6:10 in the morning for light up, We go out in a train at about 10 o'clock, and we're first out, last back tomorrow, so on Saturday rather. Pretty long day. So by the time you get it back into the station, put it to bed, get it all cleaned up, it's pretty much a 12-hour day. Nice sports fields over there. You can sit in with our passengers. If I turn the head tracker on, we can look around and look at them. G'day. Seems to meet you before. You're always here. Hello. Why would you sit in this sad corner with no window? Surely you'd want to look out the window. Oops. Yeah, you go away for a couple of minutes, and you come back and the train's put its own brakes on. Grumpy train. I don't know whether the cats will be around. I reckon that's entirely up to them, Cat. I don't think I've ever had a lot of control over cats. Now, for this thing, you can turn... Let's just get the keys right. You can turn the alerter on and off, and you can turn on access on and off. I wouldn't. You'll end up running up the back of another train if you do that, but you can. You can turn ATC on and off as well. Same deal. I wouldn't do that either. Alright, we're coming into the yard lead here. And soon we're probably going to get dropped down to an even lower speed. And once we park this thing up in the yard, which I think is the last of the tasks on this one, let's just have a quick look. No, don't do that. I want to press that button so we can see the other trains. I've got to admit these scenarios are pretty lively for Train Simulator. It's the kind of traffic levels you'd expect in TSW. Here we are, coming into our final yard. Still allowed to do 15 at the moment, so we will. Oops, spoke too soon. We have to come down to 10. And something else I better check is... Are we actually going into the correct track? That one's right, that one's right, that one looks good, but which one are we going into? Hillside Track 4. Which looks like they are actually set for me. That's nice. Thank you to whoever put the scenario together and setting the tracks right for me. I'm pretty sure we're coming into track 4 anyway. Oh, we're supposed to stop at the lead. Which is here. That was lucky that I turned the HUD back on, wasn't it? Right at the point where we have to stop. It was part of my plan all along. Whoa. Now we're going to track 4, I think. Yep. Alright. Away we go. Now, it's amazing how close it comes to this pole. Nothing hits it, but it feels like it will. And even trains... I got curious about this one, because it's really close as well. So on one of my runs earlier, I backed the train out and ran it down this track just to see if it would hit it. And it doesn't. It's close, but no. I always like the snake effect as it goes through multiple switches. Now, I would absolutely love to sit here and stream to you with this with the whole night until the real train simulator one starts tomorrow morning for me, tonight for you guys, or a lot of you. But I have to be at work in 7 hours and 29 minutes, so I'm going to go to bed as soon as I park this one up. For some funny reason. So thank you very much for watching along. On Sunday, let me just turn off the head tracker for a tick. On Sunday, I'll be running 4 scenarios on Sunday. It's going to be a long one, apparently. So that's good. And we'll be doing this one again, funnily enough. And I'll look forward to what people think of this route, because I've enjoyed being part of the beta for it and enjoying watching it grow and come alive and get to the point where it is now. So I think it's well worth the investment. And its signalling system has been put together by Brandon, or Cactus Juice as a lot of people know him, who is very, very clever. And it's been validated by himself and some other real railway people as well. So basically, you can expect a good level of reality. Alright, that's it. Let's start shutting her down. Headlights off. Instrument lights off, marker lights on. Let's put our cab light on so we can see what we're doing when we get through this. I want to get you through to max emergency. One more. And you through to key out. And will I get to turn the key off? Come on. Come on. You know you want to. There we go. Final destination reached. Whoops, we haven't turned the wipers off yet. Wipers off. Gone. Wipers off. Won't you let me do it anymore because I haven't got a key in there? Alright. That's fine. Well, thank you very much for watching. I've enjoyed being the first player to show you this. It's been quite cool. I do apologise for the delay on showing it. It was meant to be quite a lot earlier this evening, but that was out of my control and I was asked to show it a bit later. And I hope you really enjoy the route. I mean, the team that put it together put a huge amount of work into it and a lot of love, and it really shows. I really think you'll like it. So enjoy in about 5 hours time, I guess, maybe a little bit less than 5 hours time. Jamie will be streaming it on the DTG channel. Or channels, actually. So drop in and have a look at that one if you want to have another look before you buy it. Otherwise, grab it and play when it comes out in about, I think, 2.5 hours time. So enjoy. See you later. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I always like to get your feedback in the form of likes and comments because they help me understand what you want. Give the channel a subscribe and click on the tinkly things so you don't miss out on any new stuff. And thanks for your ongoing support. And please, be safe out there.